CNBC TV 18, celebrating 15 years of leadership.
Hello and welcome to this CNBC TV 18 special King Coal. The coal auctions have captured the imagination not just of the power, coal and cement sectors. The aggression of the bids has begun to worry bankers about the sheer viability of some of the units in these sectors. To give us a perspective from the government's point of view, the architect of these auctions, Coal Secretary Anil Swarup, joins us now. A good day to you, Mr. Swarup, and congratulations, first of all, that despite all the litigation, the auction process has gone on pretty smoothly. But because of the aggressive bidding, a few questions have come up. First up, in the power sector, the forward bidding that we saw and the high premiums that some companies have quoted is getting a bit scary for bankers whom I spoke to. The prime question is, will they be able to pass it on as fixed costs?
Thank you very much for those comments. As far as the bidding is concerned, I think we should not be imparting wisdom to those that are bidding, especially as a bureaucrat. I would not like to tell them what they should do. I would presume that they would know what they are doing. As far as the passing of the cost is concerned, it will be passed on in a different context altogether. In fact, on account of the reverse bidding, the tariff should actually come down. That is what the stipulation is. And the subsequent forward bidding after the reverse bidding coming to zero, the forward bidding amount will go to the state governments. That's how the stipulation is.
No, the money goes to the state government, all right, but the money is being paid out by the companies. Now, when they bid for the fixed cost in the forthcoming PPAs, will they be allowed to factor in? I'll tell you why this fear has come. Because in a separate context, if I'm not mistaken, I heard Mr. Piyush Goyal say that fixed costs could get regulated or could get capped. If that is the case, they cannot pass on this cost as part of their fixed cost, right? The premiums.
You know, the whole idea of this sort of a bidding was to keep a tab on the tariffs, and that is what the government is committed, that we will see to it that the tariffs don't go up. If this results in increase in tariff, the whole purpose will stand defeated. So that's what the government is going to work towards.
So short point, the premium will not be allowed as fixed cost.
I hope so, because otherwise the tariff will go up.
Well, the opinion from the industry and the bankers is that in that case, the power plants will be unviable.
See, as I said, I would not be sitting here imparting wisdom to people who know more about business and finances. We had made it very clear the purpose of the auction. They had to take a call, and they've taken a call, and they have to finally take a call as well.
Okay. Mr. Swarup, what would your own thoughts be on the aggressive bidding process and what will happen from here on? Because, as we've seen in the past with the road sector as well, initially some of the bidders bid aggressively and then, they could not service many of their projects. So in this case, if some of these companies end up surrendering their coal blocks, what will the process be? Will there be any penalty that will be levied on them?
They have given guarantees, and those guarantees will be invoked in case they don't do what they have promised to do. Probably the scenario here will not be as bad as perhaps in the road sector or in the power sector otherwise, because here the exploration has to start, and if exploration doesn't start, then not much of an investment would have been made by them. So subsequent subsequent bidding can happen on those blocks. But I am hoping for the best. I am hoping that these people who are bidding are bidding with their eyes wide open, which I'm sure they are, and consequent to which they will live with it. I'm sure they must be having good reasons for bidding, but they are. We are indeed very happy that had the bidding not gone the way it has gone, they would have been blamed that we have not structured the auction in a manner and government has lost money. That was the clarion call for the past so many years, that government has been losing money. Now that the government is making money, there are, eyebrows being raised. So that's how it happens. That's how market settles. Over a period of time, it will settle down. And I would also like to inform that we've started just with a few blocks. We have many more blocks to offer. In fact, during the current auction and allotment process, we'll be looking at more than 80 blocks. So if that be the case, then more and more supply will come in, and probably the price will settle down.
Sir, actually, that is the point I wanted to make. The manner in which people are bidding, it gives the impression that the industry is not at all sure of the availability of coal, which is why the aggression, which is why they want to corner what little they can get, 10 or 15% of their requirements. Can you give us some assurance about how many blocks will be auctioned in 2015 calendar itself, one? And point two, can you reiterate how much will Coal India's output increase in this year and the next? I'm asking for visibility only for 24 months.
No, I'm extremely glad that you raised these issues, because I've been pointing out that the blocks on offer are not the only blocks that are on offer. As you would recall that we had to do something about those 42 blocks in Schedule 2, and thereafter we added another 32 blocks in Schedule 3. So there were indeed originally 74 blocks. Now we are looking at more than 80 blocks before 31st of March. So that's quite a huge number before 31st of March. And I would like to assure the industry that more and more blocks will be offered even thereafter. So I don't think there is any reason for them to bid aggressively on this count. If they are bidding aggressively on some other count, I can't say that. But as far as the availability of blocks are concerned, there will be sufficient number of blocks, and I think more than 80 is a good number before 31st of March. And I'd like to go on record that even after 31st of March, the auction process will not stop, because we have in all 204 blocks. The auction process and the allotment process will continue even after 31st of March. That is one. Number two, we are making a lot of effort to see that the Coal India production still in itself gets ramped up. This year we are seeing a record production. We are already ahead by more than 7% over last year, and we are hopeful that we'll cross 500 million tons this year. And we are looking at, and I have been saying that in the past as well, Coal India Board has approved a plan for ramping up production from the current levels this year of 500 million tons to 1 billion ton in next 5 years. And action is already underway. So a lot of work is being done in terms of ensuring that coal becomes available in the country, and there is nothing to fear on that front.
So my colleague Pragya is also joining me. Go ahead, Pragya.
Mr. Swarup, thank you so much for joining. And nobody is taking away the fact that a lot of work is being done, but we cannot take away the fact that Schedule 2 bidding has been extremely aggressive. You yourself have tweeted about it, as we all understand. But my point is, I want to rephrase Latha's question. Given the fact that, for the power sector, the reverse bidding actually started at zero and then went into negative, the variable cost will actually be zero for a lot of these companies. Do you think the companies will find a way to sort of gold plate their fixed charges going forward in order to, bid for PPAs? Because if that happens, then as a ramification of when the PPAs are actually floated, for a lot of these companies, the end tariffs will actually go up. Will actually, 3 years from now, when the PPAs get floated, it will defeat the end purpose of the government of keeping a tab on the overall tariffs. So while we may achieve our purpose today, we may not actually be able to achieve it, say maybe 3 years from now, when they want to make some under recoveries on variable costs by gold plating on the fixed charges.
You can rest assured that we will ensure that this doesn't happen, that they are unable to gold plate and get these tariffs go up. We've done it so far, we'll do it in the future as well. But let me take this point to you. The problem is that if there is lesser bidding, you ask a question that why is the government losing money? I raised this point earlier also. Now that the government is getting more money, everyone is again getting concerned. So what is the option available? Do you have one?
I'm not here to discuss options now, Mr. Swarup. My only fear is that the solution to the coal ministry should not become the problem of the power ministry and then the problem of the finance ministry. Because bankers are clearly worried that some of the power companies they have lent to are going to be unviable. Mr. Swarup, if you can hold on to that thought, we have to take a break. We are back in a jiffy with lots more questions for Mr. Anil Swarup.
CNBC TV 18, celebrating 15 years of leadership.